One Piece chapter 1011, it is titled To Bonney, another chapter involving Kuma's flashback. I like the cover page because it's a colored one. It has Vegapunk and his Stelas on there. I think it's fitting because in the last chapter, Vegapunk talked about wanting to create different beings like this, and he ended up doing it in the future. Thought that was a nice touch by Oda. In this chapter, Kuma, he's acting on his warlord responsibilities. We see him watch over Luffy. There's also Bonney, how he's keeping writing letters to her and she's not receiving them, and she's fed up about it, and she goes and leaves the Sorbet Kingdom. But if you guys enjoy regular anime content like this, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's get into chapter 1001's breakdown. Kuma is watching Luffy train. Luffy is currently 16 years old during this flashback, and then we get a flashback within a flashback of Dragon and Kuma. They talk about how Dragon is familiar with this nation and that he's always watching a small boy from a small village, and this would be Luffy, where Dragon cuts him off, saying that if you keep going, if you want to see me killed, children are a vulnerability for any parent. So Dragon officially beats the deadbeat dad allegations. We know the reason why he is trying to distance himself from Luffy is not that he doesn't care about him, but he knows if people find out that Luffy and him are father and son, that they would do anything in order to get to Dragon, meaning they would hurt Luffy, they would kill him, and Dragon doesn't want Luffy to experience that. I'm not entirely sure when this flashback, this dialogue between Kuma and Dragon happened, but it definitely was during when Kuma was a revolutionary, so Bonney may not have been born just yet, or she may have, but if she was born, Kuma could definitely resonate with what Dragon's talking about, because he was willing to do anything to make sure Bonney was cured and do anything to make sure she survived. And it's not just them. We've seen this theme all throughout One Piece, how parents are willing to sacrifice for their children. There was Scarlet, Corazon, there was Zeph, Belmere, and plenty more parents that either gave up their life or something else in order for their children to survive. This isn't exclusive to One Piece. You see it in other anime. You also see it IRL as well. I know my parents have given up a lot for me to be in the stage I am today. Oda, I believe he is a father, and I know he's definitely sacrificed for his child. So I love the fact that Oda implemented this, not just throughout the series, but highlighted this in this chapter, and Dragon was the one to talk about it. The attack that Luffy was working on during this chapter was the Gum Gum Axe. He says something along the lines of he'll use this attack when his crew is either getting beat or captured, and I love this. The first time that we've ever seen Luffy use this attack was chapter 59 during the Bratier, but specifically in the context of what he was talking about was against Arlong at Arlong Park, talking about how Nami was a slave and that she was a prisoner to the map room, which is why Luffy not only defeated Arlong, but he destroyed the map room as well in order to free Nami. It just makes that scene much more impactful now that we know why Luffy was training this technique. Kuma, he's tasked with different things from the world government, defeating different pirates, and as he is doing this, he is still constantly writing letters to Bonney. Unfortunately, those letters have not gotten to her, and she's sad because she's like, hey, my dad, he said he'd write, and the reason why these letters aren't getting to her because the CPA agent Alpha has been destroying each and every letter that is sent there. It's really messed up because Kuma is doing his job correctly as a warlord. He's not resisting or anything in that nature, and he's not even going to see Bonney. So I understand that he's a pirate and the world government isn't necessarily going to treat him fairly, but the least you could do if he's already can't see his daughter anymore is let her get these letters. With nothing better to do, Bonney, she's ready to fight. She powered up sorta. It kind of reminded me of Luffy using Gear 5th, the muscle technique mode that he used against Kaido, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this video. Alpha, she gives Bonney her medicine, which is really a placebo because Bonney is actually cured, and then she questions whether or not she saw Bonney as a giantess or in a giant-like form. The queen of the country, Coney, she is trying to keep Alpha and the world government from knowing that Bonney has a devil fruit because she said that a wise hawk hides his talents, which is true. And I know a lot of people have been in the community talking about, oh, this Mihawk. No, just because it has something related to a hawk does not mean it's Mihawk. We cut to Laboratory 8, seeing Kuma, Vegapunk, and Stussy, where Vegapunk is talking to them, talking about how he is still trying to turn this laboratory into what we see of Egghead now. And in the past, he originally wanted to do this to Punk Hazard. He's already cut his head and he has that apple-like thing on there because we know that he wants to turn all the knowledge that he had into the Punk record. Kuma wants to learn more about what it means to lose his free will, where Vegapunk asks the question, as Kuma is right now, would he still do the world's government bidding if they told him to kill a child? And the answer is obviously not. But when he loses his free will, he's going to lose all his memories and the emotions that he's gained. This reminds me so much of Germa 66. Remember that scene against Queen when Sanji, he was struggling to turn into a soldier of science because he did not want to lose his emotions. He questioned whether or not it would be better for him to remain as he is or be a soldier that could kill on command. Because look at what his brothers turned out to be. They're heartless monsters. Sure, they get the job done, but they lost their humanity and their sense of morals. I can't say whether or not having someone, at least in the context of the One Piece story, is good or bad. I think it just all depends on how they're used. I personally wouldn't want anybody to lose their humanity because I think that's wrong, and Vegapunk agrees, where he's giving Kuma the bare minimum of consciousness for about another year, and this would explain the different interactions with the Straw Hats. It's been half a year and Bonney still has not received a single letter from Kuma. It's her birthday and they're celebrating it without him, and she is crying. She is so sad, very upset, and is very miserable because everything that they've been through, all she wants to do is well, she definitely wants to be with her father, but at the bare minimum, at least receive a letter from him. Since becoming a warlord, Kuma, he has been assisting the revolutionaries, still saving them whenever they're in a pinch and leaving without a word. And he's doing this because he still has some of his free will. He still cares about the revolutionary army, but because the situation he's in, he can't say anything about this, and Dragon, he mentions this. Bonney, she no longer has the sapphire scale. She is cured, just like Vegapunk said, but Alpha still won't let her leave. I'm not gonna lie, I was about to say a naughty word. This girl is annoying. Coney informs everybody that Alpha and the people that are affiliated with her are a part of the world government, that they've been lying to Bonney, saying that she's still sick when she's actually been cured, and she's probably the individual that has been keeping the letters for Kuma. So Coney says, Bonney, hey, go out to sea, go find your father. I love these small details that we get of Bonney for the first time since she's never been out, talking about how the sun feels, talking about how the ground feels. It's just such a heartwarming moment, and the different individuals that have been with Bonney all this time, they get emotional as well. Bonney disguises herself as Coney and she goes with Gyo, Tots, and Potato. They're going after Kuma, and this works because we've seen in the previous chapter, once Bonney unlocked her devil fruit, or we realized that she had it, that people had been mistaking Bonney and Coney the entire time. Alpha noticed that she was missing and is going after, using the 6 power, saying that, hey, I'll use non-lethal force if I have to in order to bring you back. This is where Bonney remembers a conversation with Kuma talking about who Nika is, that he's an individual that fights freely and that he has rubbery properties, where Bonney gets up, uses distorted future, nika-ish future, and punches the shit out of Alpha. So Bonney, being what, like 10 years old in this instance, or 9 years old, 9.5, somewhere along those ranges, she took out a CPA agent. That's pretty freaking impressive. It looked like one of Luffy's Gear 3rd attacks, and as Alpha got sandwiched, destroyed, Bonney, she goes back on the ship and she is going after her father, where they say that the narrator mentions that she escaped and that she kind of becomes famous just like Luffy. How is Bonney able to use an attack similar to Luffy? I will go more in depth about her devil fruit in a future video. Stay tuned, probably about Wednesday or Friday, so make sure you guys subscribe for that. I will say a little bit here though, it appears that distorted future kind of works as an alternative future, or a future that could have been. So in the context of this chapter, she created a future where she had Nika's abilities. This is the first time that Oda has introduced distorted future we saw in chapter 1072. And also, this isn't the first time of us dealing with possible futures. Remember how Oda has incorporated not only the Straw Hats but different characters, what they would look like aging in the correct timeline, and then a possible timeline where something went wrong. Like I mentioned, I will be doing a breakdown of her death fruit later this week, but let me know how you guys felt about this chapter in the comment section below. If you guys loved it, if you guys hate it, there is a break this week, so that sucks, but hey, Oda's been killing it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out a new video from me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.